To continue working on a project, you're required to use File Explorer and go to your project folder. Find what you're working on, in this case a Photopea file that we're now going to open with Photoshop. It should already know about Photoshop by having this symbol, but if not, we can tell it always open this with Photoshop. I'm just going to double click. It'll open the right file with the right program. Now the first thing I'm going to do is save this with today's date instead. That way I can keep my old version from Photopea, but I'll have the new one that's the Photoshop version. Today being the 19th, that way I can tell the difference between the two. Now to turn this file in, I want your intro title to be visible when you save it. So I'm going to turn off my food combination of text and background and turn on intro. You'll see how I've organized them into these folders. You need to do the same. Just double click on the names and you can type in the name of that particular group. Now I'm going to save it and turn in that Photoshop file. So you need to know which one you're giving me, which should be the one that you opened with Photoshop. So it should have the later date. Now the other files that will be turned in, you can see here that that is the Photoshop file right here. But now we're going to export the PNG versions. Think of them as frozen versions that are images. They're called bitmaps, and they can no longer be edited. If it's the Photoshop file, you can correct spelling, change backgrounds out for others, whatever you need to do. So this is like the master one, and then these are going to be exports. And here's the step to export. So we're going to make the correct text visible, go to File and Export PNG, and then we got to make sure that they are named correctly. Okay, here's the names. I'll copy the first one. Go back to Photoshop, and now I'm ready to export my intro title. So File, Export, Quick Export as PNG. There are other formats that you can export, but this is exporting, not saving as PNG. We export PNG. Automatically goes to wherever you were last. In this case, I exported to my project folder, and I'm going to replace this name with the new one. And I'm just going to keep it simple for this. Title, intro. And this is what we're going to use in our video. Now I'm going to make my first category. So I'm going to hide intro and export food. File, export, quick export. I'm just going to paste again and change intro to food. And just do that for each of the 4 titles we're going to need for our video. And just export each one of them. And you can add those after you add the Photoshop file. So I can open Photoshop and see all your layers. What did you name them? Are they in groups? But I can, at a glance, see what your different ones are called. So this one is animals. And the final one is places. Here you go. Now we've got the 4 PNGs that we are also going to upload. So give me this file, no, this one, and these 4 right here. Include the intro, so I'll make sure you got all 4 that you need.